is Saturday, June 21st. Thank you for tuning in to Bruce Leonard Leans Left while it's still legal. Still legal today. So I'm here. I'm sure they wish it wasn't. But I'm here a little early today because I have some things to do later. And I try to have a life, even though I work a full-time job. I try to watch and read all the news I can for you. Do this show 3 times a week. And I've still got to try to have a personal life of some sort. So I'm trying to squeeze it all in in a limited amount of time. And I don't know how much time we have left before we can, we have to bunker down. The National Guard will be at your city soon. I mean, what do you think is going to happen if we go to war? You think Trump been trying to use all these emergency powers and there ain't nothing going on? When there's a real war, he'll use all the emergency powers they got. He'll empty the bag. It's like, I said, Mahmoud Khalil is now a free man. Finally, after over 100 days in incarceration for absolutely nothing. Here's the part that's funny. Right? They tried to deport this guy. Right? They want to deport him, get him out. Right? The judge says you got to let him out of custody. Now, he can't travel overseas. They took away his passport. It's like, well, you got to get out of here. Man. We're going to deport you. The judge says, no, you can't really do that. You got to let him out. And they go, all right, then give us your passport. You can't leave. It's like, you want him to leave or you don't want him to leave? What is, nothing that these people do makes any sense. They're literally making shit up as they go along. It's like, the hipster Nazi J.D. Vance made a little trip out to L.A. to talk shit. And here's something I want to say. Well, first of all, he would not let any local reporters. For a guy who likes to act like a big tough guy, right? J.D. Vance. Well, I mean, he was wearing eyeliner, so he can't be that tough. But what is up with that eyeliner anyway? What? My Chemical Vance, you know. That's like emo press conference. Anyway, the hipster Nazi, that's what I call him. He's out there talking shit, you know. Well, of course they're bringing the National Guard. Have you allowed people to burn the city down? And you're like, dude, there ain't no city being burned. This is the guy that said people eat dogs and cats, okay? Nothing that this man says should be taken seriously ever again. Ever. The fact that we will allow people to lie to your face like this so blatantly. And no one seems to care. It's like, they have no credibility left. None. Zero. Burning the city to the ground. Now, I showed you a map, right, of L.A. It's 1 square mile of a over 500 square mile city. Protests are happening at 1 square mile. And they're burning the whole city to the ground. It's like, they live in an invented fantasy world. None of it is real. None. Trump said that the B-2 bombers over to stealth bombers, you can't see them. He says they're stealth. You can't see them. It's like, it's a big fucking black plane right there, bro. Now, you can't see it on a radar screen because it's got whatever the stealth technology. But I can see it flying over. I can see it sitting on the tarmac. It's not the Wonder Woman jet. And even that wasn't invisible. It's just glass. You know, it's like that was always the most hilarious thing. That old Wonder Woman show. They show the invisible jet, and it's just her. It's like, so you just see her flying through the air. It's like everything's invisible except her. Which is even weirder. It's like she's sitting there. It's like just all you see is someone sitting down and floating in the air. It's the invisible jet. It's like, well, I see the bitch. She's sitting just right there. It's unbelievable. Now I know somebody, some sensitive liberals get a message being like, oh, you didn't have to say that word. I just talk like this. I don't mean nothing by it. Everyone should know. It's like I'm totally for women's rights, trans rights, gay people's rights. I'm for everyone's rights. This is the reason why I sit here and rant 3 times a fucking week, because I'm trying to save you from yourself. Like, you need to get up off your ass right now, because you're running out of time. As I said, you think that when Trump starts this war, that as soon as the real war is on, he's going to pull up all the wartime powers, everything he can to make himself stronger. And they will be enforced because we're at war. And the courts will say, well, we're at war now, so he can use the wartime power. It's like, all of this war is completely to distract away from his failure in every single aspect of the presidency. And it'll work. Because what will happen? What happens when we go to war? Oh, well, now you can't criticize the president now. You got to get behind him because we're at war. It's like, yeah, but he started this war. Well, we're at war. Yeah, no criticizing the president. They're at war. And he needs to shut down all the criticism. That's what it's about. He can enact all the wartime powers, and they can say, "Have you criticized the president now? We're at war. You're not a patriot. You're an enemy of." They might even call you enemy of the state and try to arrest you. If you think for 1 second that you put anything past these people, then you haven't been watching a goddamn thing. These people, like I said, are ruthless, and they have no morals. They're kind of stupid, and they're not very good at executing stuff. But make no mistake, the things they want to do are pure fucking evil. Pure evil. There ain't no way fans or buts about it. And people voted for this. That's why I'm sick of people saying, Americans are good. Deep down, inside, Americans are good people. We're good. It's like, are we good? Look at these leaders. We elected these people. They're fucking evil. Almost all of them. And the ones that ain't are too fucking scared to say anything. To me, that's almost worse. It's almost worse. We're going to let this guy take us to war. And no one's going to stop him. If this was a country, if we really had patriots in this country, they would save the country from him. But they're not going to. They're going to empower him. They're going to let him do whatever he wants. You know why? Because they're not patriots. All they want is power. They want control of America. But they don't like what America is. And they want to turn it into something else. That's just the way it is. If you don't believe that now, I don't know what to tell you. I'd like it. I'd like some of these people who said I was crazy in 2015, 2016, 2017. They said, "Oh, you're crazy. There ain't Nazis, and it's like you're just blowing everything out of proportion. You got Trump derangement syndrome, and all the things that they said. And now look at it. Now look at us. Look where we're at now. You think I was crazy? No. I was predicting the future, my friends, and here we are. There's a reason why I was, had a lot of momentum going at that time, and I had lots and lots of followers, and I was getting millions and millions of engagement, because I was telling you what was going to happen. I became dangerous, so Facebook had to kneecap me. Which is fine. It's actually kind of an honor. Now they're coming after me. My alt identity, they're coming after me on that. I don't know if you noticed this, they made a lot of changes in Facebook. One day I was posting, and then one day, I went to post, and they were like, "You can't post right now. Facebook has decided that you posted too much today." It's like, what? There's a quota now? Like, shit is happening so fast and furious. It's like, if you want to keep up on it, there's lots of information that people need to see. And now they're clamping down on how much you can share. And I said, then they pulled out some picture from, 2023 or some shit. I think it was 2022. I think it was 3 years ago. They pulled out a picture. You posted this picture? And then here's the real thing that was fucked up. It said, you can't see it. It said, we removed your photo from Facebook. And it was blocked, like, the photos that if they deem it dangerous, it's like blocked. You have to touch it to open it up. It was like that. It had the eye over, it blocked thing, and it said, this photo. And so I was like, well, what is it? I want to see what it is. So I went to click the thing, and I said, we can't show you this photo. What? You say it's illegal, and I can't post it, and they're removing it from the content, and this is a private thing, right? It's not public. My Facebook police charge sheet, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And so it's just me and Facebook. So you can't show me the picture? They said, we can't show you. What? Could have been anything. They said, oh, well, you can't see it. What? Okay. Well, I want to file an appeal, but I don't even know what the fuck it is you pulled, so what am I supposed to say? It was a joke? You misunderstood it? Like, I don't know. Why doesn't Facebook have a chat room or every other company has a online at least service that you can kind of talk to a human being if you want to. If you want to file a complaint, or your bank or whatever has that. Like, Facebook doesn't have that. Why is that? Can't talk to a human being at Meta, Instagram, or Facebook. Because I see girls all the time. I guess these Instagram chicks that post hot pictures of themselves all day. Well, they have lines of that too, like, and then they say, oh, well, they violated the content, it's too sexy or whatever, and they take it off. And then the girls are bitching all the time too. It's like, oh, I'm on shadow ban, I can't talk to nobody, I can't get no one on. No, there's no human beings in Meta. It's a social media company, right? Designed for people to talk to each other, but you can't talk to them. That seems weird. There's no customer service in social media. But the whole thing is designed for people to talk to each other, but you can't talk to them. It's a firewall between you and them while they sit and make their decisions up on high, somewhere in Silicon Valley. Oh, Bruce Leonard posted something bad again. It's unbelievable. I don't understand that at all. I don't get it. So all this is going on, right? All these tragedies in the world, but you know what's real tragic? Netanyahu comes out and says, "Oh well, we've all felt the hit from this war, hurt from the war. My son had to postpone his wedding. As people are starving to death, dude, dying. You're bombing the shit out of people every day, and you got the fucking nerve to be like, oh, my son had to postpone his wedding. We're all feeling the pain of this war." It's like, what a piece of shit. Why do we elect the shittiest people to be in charge of this world? It ain't even just here, it's everywhere. We need the biggest asshole in the world to be our president. It's like, and once they get it, they ain't give it up. Like Netanyahu, he's been there now for 20 years or something. It's like half the country hates his guts, but they can't get rid of him for some reason. Why is that? They say it's a democracy over there. It don't seem too democratic to me. If half the country hates you, you're still the president 20 years later. It's like Trump. Trump's approval rating is going into the tank, right? It's finally into the 40s. It's still high 40s, but still. And that, even to me, that's mind blowing. That means that there's about 30% of mega hardcore cult members that aren't going to abandon Donald Trump no matter what he does. He could set the White House on fire himself on live television, and they would say, "Yeah, he's sticking it to the man." They wouldn't care. But that means that there's 17% of people who aren't hardcore Trumpers, who are still like, I support what he's doing. It's like, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that this is people say Americans are good. I don't think we're good. And you only have to look at some of these things, what's going on right now. Masked dudes with no badges or nothing are just jumping out of nowhere all of a sudden. And they're smash windows of cars and pull people out. And it's like, dude, what the fuck is going on? This is America. Now ain't no different than some fucking, like I said, 2-bit dictatorship you see on TV. I'm like, oh, they grabbed the guy at Citizen the other day for filming. They were doing some shit. He was filming them, and then they just rushed him and grabbed him too. He's a citizen. Arrested him. Now these guys got out. Now the other day I told you there was a kid. He was 20 years old. So they were harassing someone in the parking lot. He was a citizen, and he tried to come to this guy's defense. And the ICE tackled him down and handcuffed him, drug him off. His family said they didn't know where he was. Well, he got released. No charges. If you're a citizen and you're brown, be wary, because they can jump out and tackle you at any time. They've already done it several fucking times. And people voted for this. You voted for this. Latinos voted for this. Some black people voted for this. It's like that meme where the sheep are listening to the wolf. The wolf is like, "I'm gonna kill you all," and the sheep are like, "Well, at least he tells the truth." He's authentic. Why don't you just hand the executioner the fucking rope? Or be like, "Oh, I'll do that for you." Put the rope on your own neck, because that's what you did. I don't want to hear anybody saying, "Oh, I didn't vote for this. I didn't regret for this." Fucking people told you what was gonna happen. Now, if you need any, if you still have any doubt of who the mega people really are, I'm going to show you something. This is who the mega people really are. First of all, 2 days ago, there was a political assassination where a guy killed a Minnesota congresswoman and her husband and tried to kill another congressperson and his wife, and those two lived, but the other two died, and the dog. An assassination. And this bitch, who's a mega, her name is Mila Joy. She tweeted this, word for word. A former U.S. vice president receives Secret Service protection for up to 6 months after leaving office, as authorized by the former Vice President's Protection Act of 2008. Kamala only has Secret Service protection until July 20th, 2025. Tick-tock, Kamala. Now, they arrested James Comey for putting 86 on his Instagram. You gonna say 86 is a threat? And that's not a fucking threat? What? This bitch should be in prison or in jail right now. Really? That is an explicit threat. I'm talking about TikTok. That's who the mega people are. And don't fucking fool yourself for 1 second. They're a cult of white supremacist Nazis. Like I've been saying all along for 10 fucking years. And people said I was crazy. You're crazy. You think I'm crazy now? I mean, people might. Go, oh, he's crazy. You don't think I'm crazy when they're dragging you off. You go, oh, well, maybe he wasn't so crazy. Like, no, I'm trying to help you. I've been trying to help you for 10 years. Like, get your heads out of your asses. We're in serious trouble here. He's going to drag us into a war with the same bullshit that they used to start the last war. Oh, they got weapons. You're making weapons of mass destruction. You can't get them. You don't know how to get them. I mean, this is how you know that he's full of shit. Okay? He disavowed his own intelligence community. He says the intelligence community doesn't know what they're talking about. Intelligence community gave Tulsi Gabbard the report. She went in front of Congress. She said Iran is not close to building a nuclear weapon, and it would take them a year more to build one, and this was only a couple months ago. And now Trump's like, they're going to have one by the weekend. They go, that's what the intelligence community said. Well, they're wrong, he says. Oh, okay. You know more than they do because you watch Fox News. It's like, really? And if you're an intelligence analyst or an intelligence agent, what's the fucking point of working if the president's just going to blow off what you tell him? They make up their own reality, and they're doing it now to get you into a war. A war! It's unbelievable. Just this country has become almost too stupid to tolerate. Really. If I wasn't stuck here, I'd be fucking gone already. Yeah. I've lost all respect for people in this country. You're just going to lay down and let them put the boots on you? Half people want it, and the other half. And I said, it's nice to get out and walk around the street and say, I'm against this. That's not enough. And I said, it's time to move to civil disobedience. Like I said, general strike, uh, march on Washington. I said, fill up the lawn with people. Yeah, we're not fucking leaving until you do something. People should walk to the Congress and gather outside the Congress, millions of people all the way back. We're not doing anything. We're not going to work. We ain't doing shit. Till you get off your asses and reassert your fucking authority. Impeach the president. Like, impeachment is ridiculous concept at this point, right? There's nothing you can do to get impeached. Nothing. And they're never going to pull the trigger. You know. I wonder what it is that he has on these people. You know, people keep asking, why is ICE wearing a mask? You know why they're wearing a mask? There's like 1,500 people that he pardoned, and that's who they are. It's his own private army that he let out of prison. They've already proved their loyalty by storming the Capitol. They're zombies. Nazis. White supremacist Nazis. That's what they are. Oath keepers and proud boys. Where's Enrique Tarrio been? I ain't seen him around. How much you want to bet he's one of you dudes with the mask on? I ain't seen the fat guy with the eye patch. I ain't seen him around. Where's he at? Yeah, Ken, it's fucked up. I don't even know what to say at this point. It's like if people are just gonna take this and let him. Like I said, there's a whole Congress. They're gonna let him take us to war over some bullshit that they know ain't true. I said, Netanyahu's been saying they were a week away from getting a nuclear weapon for 30 fucking years. He's right all of a sudden, you know. Come on. And why are we in this spot? You know that we had to deal with them. There was nuclear inspectors inside the country monitoring their program and all that shit. And what happened? Trump canceled that deal, pulled them all out. And now he's like, they're gonna get a weapon that we don't know. Like, yeah, we don't know because you took all the fucking people out. It's like, the world is being run by a fucking moron and a lying piece of shit. An internet conspiracy fucking nut who it's unbelievable. We're sliding back so fast. $250 years was a good run, huh? We didn't even make it to 250 years because it's not till next year that it's 250 years. Because the army was created 1 year before the country was founded. So the 250th anniversary of the army where they had that fucking parade. Apparently, I don't know if you know this, but apparently Hegseth is in the doghouse because the parade was so shitty. The Hegseth's drunk idea for them to just carry the drones. Sir, can we fly these drones about? No, just carry them. Just hold them like this. Better oil these tanks a little squeaky. Nah, let them go. This tank's just. It's like, you can't get a WD-40. $50 million. You couldn't afford a can of WD-40 to put on them tanks. So Egg said he's on the out. They had a national security meeting, right? And the director of intelligence and the secretary of defense were excluded from this meeting because they care about national security. because the deer leader was mad at him. This is a banana republic, bro. We don't have no bananas, but what do we grow here? It's a wheat republic. Soybean republic. We can't grow bananas here, that's it, because it's physically impossible. But believe me, this is the most banana republic-y shit you've ever seen in your life. And people are just going along with it. Half the country, yeah, he's the greatest president we've ever had. 6 months in, he's the best. Never mind all the, clear data that shows that we're fucking heading right down the fucking shitter. This is where I'm gonna get fucked. I thought, oh, I want a soft land here. Like, I've lived this crazy life and never really thought about the future and what I'm going to do. And it was like, oh, I'm set up now for a pretty nice little soft landing, and now that he's going to tank the fucking economy and anything that I had will be worthless. Thank God I got a house. I got some property. At least I'll have a place to live. With my pile of worthless money, It's unbelievable. And there won't be no Social Security left. We're not gonna have any of that. Ain't gonna be able to have no Medicare, no Medicaid. Oh, I'm hungry. Maybe I get some food stamps. Nope. That's been eliminated too. What? Oh yeah, we had to pay for ICE agents to arrest all the dishwashers at Waffle House. It's like, what the fuck? They're invaders. Saw a thing. Maybe I'll read you these statistics. I think it's like 70-something% people that had no criminal record. 65% of people taken by ICE, this is the Cato Institute, 65% of people taken by ICE had no convictions. 93% no violent convictions. Like I've been saying all along, that whole, Trinidad, Nicaragua, and they're all gang members and gangsters, it's bullshit. Now, like I always say, there are some. There's a kernel of truth in everything they say. A tiny little kernel of truth. Like there are some gangsters here, some gang members, and they should be deported. But they just extrapolate that out. They're all gang members. They're all from prisons and mental institutions. How many times has he said that? They all came here from mental institutions and prisons and from this and that and the other. And it's like, really? And then they go grab somebody from some small town and people go, what are you doing, man? This person is a pillar of the community. It's like... They're full of shit about everything. Here's what they do, okay? Now, I'm going to say, occasionally, some of the things they say are right. The problem is that they back themselves into a place where you can't believe anything these people say. So even when they say something is true, you have to doubt it because they lie constantly. So they've been banging this thing for years about groomer gangs in England, and they've been grooming women and girls. And this, they claim they care about women, while over here they shit on them constantly. They're trying to take away all their rights. Deep down inside, mega people, real mega people, who are the white supremacist people, they're still like, women shouldn't even vote. A guy said that. 2025. He said that the amendment that lets women vote was wrong. Should have never been passed. Really? Told you, they'd bring back slavery if they could. But anyway, here's the point. So, turns out that there is some gangs over there, Pakistanis, I think, who are. Here's how you know that they're full of shit and that they just use things as opportunities to do things. These people are Pakistanis, right? But Pakistan, Trump somehow goaded Pakistan into nominating him for a Nobel Peace Prize. Now, if they really cared that much about the issue, why are they talking to Pakistan? Why are they telling Pakistan, once you get your people under control? But they don't care about that. They only use things as a means to an end to get power. They don't care about the actual people. They don't care about those girls. They don't care about children. They don't care about anything except getting power. So here's my point. Will Kane was on Fox talking about this report that talked about the groomers. And he was like, oh, we've been saying this for years and nobody listens. To call you a racist. And blah, 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 And then he says, well, in the same segment, this is also how self-unaware they are. He says, oh, they'll call you a racist. And then he goes, but this just show you that they open up their borders and they let people in and cultures that are bad. And you're like, you're a fucking racist. All the way back around to the racist, xenophobic, nationalist talking point that, oh, you gotta lock down, you gotta keep it white. You gotta keep it white in your country. It's the only way to stay safe. It's like, it's because you're a fucking racist, bro. It's like, they call you a racist. Yes, because you are, you piece of shit. It's like, you can't even see. You can't even tell. They're so wrapped up in their own fantasy, like I said, they're the oppressed ones somehow. They're the ones who are, because they lost their control. For a minute. They're working on getting it back. That's what this is all about. Barack Obama, like I said, caused him to freak out. Like, oh, we really have lost control. We didn't. Well, if the Constitution has led to this, it ain't where shit is. We tried following that Constitution. Look what happened to us. A black president. Yes. The world that they want to take you back to was a fucking shitty place. Where women were oppressed and races were segregated and sometimes enslaved. White people shit on everybody, spit on people and hung them from trees. It's like this. What was great about that? Oh, it's so great, we gotta get back to that. That's when things were good. Really? Oh yeah, you were safe then. Were you safer? I mean, I guess they were, but everybody else wasn't. It's unbelievable. And people voted for this. What Barack Obama did was got all the white people who didn't vote off the fucking couch because they were like, oh my God, I better start voting. Yes, Klan members and Nazis, People had given up completely on the system. Yes, Obama was awesome. He was awesome. He was a generational figure. I was lucky enough to see him speak live. I went to UC and watched him speak. I stood in a line outside in the cold and the snow for a couple hours to get inside, because I knew this is before he was president. I knew that he was a generational figure that, you know, you don't see people like him all the time. He had all the charisma and all the intelligence, you know. Like, this guy's going to change the world. And you know what? He did, kind of. But he was great. But he's another reason why the Democrats suck, you know, because he got in and they didn't just ramp. They had everything. They had the Congress and the presidency. They could have done anything they wanted. But he was like, oh, I don't want to rock the boat too much. So we, you know, oh, well, they got Obamacare, and they were like, all right, that's good. And they were still trying to, like, capitulate and compromise with these fucking assholes. While they were walking around with signs of him hanging from a noose and shit. They're like, oh, we have to try to reach these people. No, fuck these people. That's where I'm at right now. Fuck these people, all of them. You should vote them right out of existence, and they should never fucking come back again till they get their fucking house in order and get rid of their Nazis. The problem is, there's way more Nazis than anyone wants to admit. Way more. I said, there's at least 30% in this country who are fascists, hardcore Nazis that want this. And if you know anything about history, fascist regimes are never the majority. It's always a fanatical minority who figures out a way to take over the country, and they try to fuck over everybody else that ain't them. And that's where we are right now. You got about a year and a half before we find out what really happened. Because I said, if they allow a midterm election, I mean, the last ditch hope for this country is that if they do try to stop an election from happening, that's it. That people go, no, we'll burn this place to the ground before we allow that to happen. And that's exactly what should happen. But I was telling my friend today, we're at work, you know, and it's like, no one ever tells you when you're reading history and all these things, they don't tell you about how real life just keeps going on every day, and you got to just keep getting up and going to work and pretending like everything's okay while everything's falling apart around you and these fucking fascists are taking over your country. That's the part that's I never considered. You know, like what was it like for these people living in the, you know, people in Germany or whatever, like they're still getting up, going to work, reading the paper or whatever, and you know, all of a sudden there's a fucking Holocaust going on, and you're like, well, how did this happen? It's like because nobody got off their asses and did anything. They just allowed these people to do what they were doing. And that's where we're headed. We'll keep going this way. People need to really realize, like, it's time to do something. And I'm not saying, like, get violent, like, because that's not the answer. Violence should always be last resort, and mostly in self-defense. Now, there will come a time when it goes so far that violence is probably inevitable. But we want to try to avoid that, don't we? All this can be avoided if they just impeach him and get rid of him. And people say, well, then Vance will become the president. Yeah, but Vance will see what happened, and if he does the same shit, they impeach him. Just keep impeaching and removing motherfuckers until they get their shit together. And say, the Constitution is the Constitution, and you're either going to follow it or you're not. If you're not going to follow it, you're fucking out. And you take an oath of office to uphold the Constitution. And ain't nobody doing that. None. They're all breaking their fucking oath. They should all be gone. Really? But the world isn't like that. You see how, like I said, I used to say all the time, Hurricane Katrina, if you remember that, showed you just how thin the fabric of society really is and how fast it can shred and disappear in moments of crisis. And that's where we're at as a whole society right now. The constitutional order is being shredded right in front of your face. And people don't seem to care. And the fucking media is like, well, President Trump this, President Trump that. I mean, the 24-hour news cycle has rotted people's brain. Because I said, 2 days ago, or whatever, 3 days ago, earlier this week, there was an assassination. They're not even talking about that anymore. Because Trump is like, well, I'm going to bomb her, right? Maybe not 2 weeks. It's like, and nobody even talks about it. It's already swept under the rug. They've already moved on. They're like, oh, let's bring on Scott Jennings to give the latest pro-war propaganda speech. You know, like, all these news channels keep acting like everything is normal. The Republican Party is not normal anymore. They're Nazis. But again, people say, oh, you're just... you just called that because you don't agree with the politics? Yeah, because their politics are fucking Nazi politics. They're fascists. They don't believe in the Constitution. They don't believe in anything except enforcing their will upon you and scrubbing the people of as many brown people as they can get rid of. But they're not Nazis. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. I'm crazy. Forgive me. This is totally not exactly like what I said would happen if you gave this guy power. And I said it didn't happen the first time because it was. He learned a lesson. I'll give him that. He learned a lesson. He knew that sane people stopped him from doing all the crazy shit he wanted to do the first time. So he said, well, if I get back in there, I'm going to scrub all those people off and replace them with nut lickers and people who won't stand in my way. And that's exactly what he did. You go, well, the Congress will stop him. Nope. Nope. He's got them in their pocket too. I don't know what he's threatening these people with. I don't know how he's... They are kowtowed. They're not doing shit. They're not going to stop them. We are all we have left. And we better fucking get off our asses and decide to do something. Because otherwise, it's all slipping away from you. And he starts this war, I said, and he declares himself emergency king of the war powers. And courts go, well, there's a war on, so he's, yep, these war powers are valid. It's Stephen Miller's wet dream. He would be unleashed. Full on. That's how they give away the election. Oh, you got an election, midterm election, we're at war. Oh, you can't criticize that. You can't criticize President. We're at war. Remember the Dixie Chicks? Remember when they tried to speak out against George W. Bush? What happened to them? They're not around anymore, are they? And this time it'll be even worse. They might lock you up. They don't like what you said. They might, again, oh, you're crazy. You ask those people at the CCOT prison if I'm fucking crazy. I think they would tell you, no. He is not. And I never thought for a million years that this is what we'd be, but this is what we are. And I'm sorry there wasn't a lot of jokes today. There's a lot going on. I take going to war kind of seriously, especially since we've already watched it happen twice. Did it turn out good either time? No. No, it did not. Now you're talking about a nation of 92 million people. You're going to just regime change Iran and it's going to just, oh yeah, it's going to be just fine. No, it's not going to be fine. I don't know if you remember, but Iran kicked the shit out of Saddam Hussein once before we did. It's not going to be fine. And now all the Arab countries are meeting, you know, because they know, like, if it starts going, it's one of those things he doesn't understand, like the series of events he will put into motion by doing this fucking dumb shit, because all he cares about is himself. And he's like, oh, my approval rates in the 40s, you know what'll get it up? A war. You know what'll stop all this criticism? A war. You know what'll stop all these court cases? A war. So, that's all he cares about. Getting himself out of trouble. He send your son, your daughter, your sister, brother off to be killed in the middle of a desert for nothing. For his own ego and glorification. And the Congress going to stop him? Nope. I'm starting to respect Thomas Massey. That's how you know how fucked up the world is. Where you're like, well, at least Thomas Massey tried to stand up to him. Yeah, I hate Thomas Massey. Yeah, but all of a sudden, he seems all right now. Like, that's when you know you're through the looking glass, or whatever they say. We're like, oh, up is down, and black and white, you know. Sky is green. Like, Thomas Massey's good all of a sudden. What the fuck is going on? And Rand Paul. It's unbelievable. Anyway, like I said, I apologize. There wasn't a lot of humor in today's show because war pisses me off. And, you know, sometimes it's just a show. We're here to talk about what's going on in the world. If it can be funny, then we'll make it funny. But if there ain't nothing funny about this. We're about to do the same fucking mistake we've already done. I said twice. And thousands of Americans died. Trillions of dollars wasted. We ain't got money for Medicare. We ain't got money for, you know, for people's Social Security. But we got money to go to war again. You know. It's hard to see anything good in this. It's not good. It's a bad situation. And Netanyahu just drooling, got a hard on this. That's why he wanted Trump to be president. Not because they love Trump. They probably all think he's a fucking dumbass jerk off when you get in private. But he's easily fucking manipulated, pushover. And he knew he could make him do what he wanted to do, and here we are. So, World War III. Anyway. I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys for watching as usual. Thank you for hanging out. I'll be back Tuesday at 6 o'clock. I am Bruce Leonard. This is Bruce Leonard Leans Left. While it's still legal. Still legal today. Hopefully it'll be legal next week. And please, have a good weekend.